This is a Beargrass Black History Moment, Homecoming. During the first week of September 2023, hundreds of former Central High School students returned to Louisville to celebrate the school's 150th anniversary. In 1873, Central became Kentucky's first school built for African American children using public funds. The school was named Central because it was centrally located in the city of Louisville at the corner of 6th and Kentucky Streets. The original building still stands and is now owned by Simmons College of Kentucky as its Ida B. Wells Hall. In 1882, junior and senior high classes were added, and the Central Colored High School was founded in the same building. When the facility became overcrowded in 1894, children were moved to other sites, with Central High School moving to 9th and Chestnut Streets. In 1952, Central High School opened its doors in a newly built building at 11th and Chestnut Streets, its current location. Jean Ford Wilson, Patty Ford Sims Turner, Marilyn Smith Taylor, Eugene Ford Jr., and Fred Charles Ford, the adult children of Eugene and Mary Huston Ford, like their parents, all were Central High School graduates. These siblings, former Louisvillians, came back home to be a part of the historic and joyous occasion. They also came to hear a presentation about research Laverne Shoemake Dunning, a local genealogist, had compiled about their family. She used census records, including a Kentucky slave schedule, death certificates, wills, deeds, and newspaper articles to make a connection between Mary Huston Ford, the siblings' mother, and the Samuel Churchill Sr. family and the 7th and Kentucky Street sites. The property is now owned by Simmons College of Kentucky. The Ford's family history had already been well documented, yet Laverne's research presented facets unknown to them. Laverne traced Mary Huston Ford's family through the 1862 will of Samuel Churchill Sr., who had left his considerable wealth in land and enslaved persons to his numerous children and grandchildren. Emily Churchill Zane, one of Samuel's daughters and the wife of Hampton Zane, was of particular interest. Her inheritance included land, money, and 11 enslaved persons. She and her husband Hampton had lived at the 7th and Kentucky Street site, no doubt with her inherited enslaved person. Laverne's main focus was Lucy of the 11 persons gifted to Emily. During enslavement, Lucy had a son named John Churchill, who married a woman by the name of Emily. Their daughter Ammonia married George Jones, who, during the Civil War, served in CO-1, 12th United States Colored Heavy Artillery. A side note, after George's death in 1919, Emily received a pension until she died. George and Ammonia's daughter Georgia, who with Arthur Evans, had a daughter by the name of Katie Mae Churchill Evans. Katie Mae married Charles Huston, and their child Mary Huston married Eugene Ford Sr., father of the 5 siblings who returned for Central's 150th anniversary. Katie Mae graduated from Central High School in 1925. In 2007, her framed diploma and photo was presented to Dr. Daniel Withers, principal at Central High School at the time. It now hangs on the wall in the Central High School library. The Ford family had been longtime residents of Louisville's Smoketown community and has had a connection with Louisville and Central High School for well over 100 years. Central High School students have long been noted for their activism in the fight for civil rights and justice. It was their activism in 1945 that had the Louisville Board of Education to remove the word colored from the school's name, thus discontinuing the word's use on diplomas issued. In 2023, a pilgrimage to Louisville was also made by James Hickman and wife Stephanie and his sister Khalida Kali and her husband Ted Evans. They had come from Chicago to visit sites related to their great-grandfather, Reverend Elijah P. Mars. Visits were made to the Mars Memorial Baptist Church and Pleasant View Baptist Church, both of which he helped to establish. A stop was made at the Simmons College of Kentucky, 7th Street site, where Reverend Mars had been the school's first administrator and had attended classes. They met with Dr. Kevin Cosby, president of the college, and presented him with 2 volumes of Chambers Encyclopedias dated 1886, both signed by Reverend Elijah P. Mars. A stop was made at the Greenwood Cemetery to take photos of Reverend Mars' Civil War headstone at the site of his burial. On Sunday, June 18th, the siblings and their spouses attended morning service at the Beargrass Missionary Baptist Church, of which Reverend Mars was one of the organizers and served as the church's first pastor. James Hickman made a pledge to donate $1,000 to Simmons College of Kentucky. This pledge was matched by church pastor Reverend Matthew E. Smizer Jr. and the congregation. It is to be noted that both pledges were received by the college. If it were at all possible, the ancestors of both the Huston Ford and the Mars Hickman families would have been shouting with joy seeing the homecoming of their beloved descendants returning to places that had caused them tremendous heartache. Yet they prevailed against all foes and obstacles through their strong faith in the Lord and love of families. Many would say only God can do something like this. This has been a Beargrass Black History Moment.